by Toastmaster Kyle. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hello. Okay. My speech is about active listening, and the title is Seek First to Understand and Then to Be Understood. This is a quote that's very old, so old that we don't even know who said it first. But it was popularized by Stephen Covey in his best-selling book, 7 Habits for Highly Effective People. And if you want to be a highly effective person, it is a critical habit. My speech is broken down into 3 sections. First, what is active listening and what isn't it? Second, why active listening is so critical in every area of life and how it can help you become special and unique. And third, this is the one I'm most proud of, because you may have heard the concepts in the first and second sessions, but I'll go deeper. The third is what I believe the root cause of failure to actively listen is, and how to get better at it. This is stuff you wouldn't have heard from ChatGPT, by the way. First, what is active listening? Active listening is not hearing, it's listening actively and trying to understand what someone is saying. This means asking questions sometimes. Who here has had that niggling, nagging feeling in a conversation when you feel, this person's not really listening to me. They're just waiting for their turn to speak? I have every single day. Most of the time, honestly. Now here's a common example in relationships of a failure to actively listen. And I'm going to use man-woman relationships for this. The woman comes to the man with a problem about her day. Oh, Nina was so mean at work today. I don't know what to do. And the man does what men do. Oh, you should go to the boss and tell them about Nina. He's trying to solve the problem, fix it. But what the woman wants is somebody to listen. So he wasn't actively listening. He didn't ask questions, he jumped to solving it. That gets me to part 2. Why is this such a critical skill in life? I just told you about relationships, but it applies to work and everyday conversations with friends as well. Here's an example from work. The boss tells you they need a report done by Friday. Maybe you just say, okay, and you do it by Friday. But what if you asked a question? What time Friday? Are there any details you would like included in this report? Boom, you're a star employee immediately. Because how many employees actually ask those questions and try to go above and beyond? Not many. Here's another example from romance. This is what almost broke my girlfriend and I up the first time. We did break up, but this one was rough too. I was in America and she texted me in English, and I believe this was a poor translation from the word harus, because harus can mean should or need. Is that correct? So I was in America and I didn't know when I was coming back, and she said, I don't know how long I should wait for you, in English. Now I assumed that she meant implying that she might find another guy if I took too long. I was triggered. She meant need. I said my piece, she said her piece, I said my piece, she said her piece. We weren't trying to understand each other. The whole thing could have been avoided if I just asked the question first. Can you tell me more? What do you mean? And she also could have asked the same question. But it was a 3-day long fight, and we did break up, but we got back together, yeah. So that's why this is important in work, relationships, and in general. Now the third part, I promise, that I'm most proud of. The root cause of failures to actively listen and how to get better at it. And I'm going to include an exercise here. I believe the root cause of failing to actively listen is not being present in the moment. Do this with me now. Everybody close your eyes, please. Now let's take 3 deep breaths, 4 seconds in, 4 seconds out, now. You can open your eyes. Raise your hand now if you had a thought that was totally irrelevant to what's going on. Anybody? No? No thoughts about what you're doing later, eating later? Okay, that's why I love Indonesia. You guys are much more present than Westerners. But what I'm trying to say is that we often think too much, even when we don't want to. And maybe, if you don't think you had a thought, you weren't listening to yourself. That's possible. So in a conversation with somebody, if you're not actively listening, it might be because you're thinking about something else. But if you were present with them and really paying attention to them, you wouldn't be thinking. You would be focusing on them and what they're saying. And then, maybe you would be interested to find out more. So that's the root cause, in my opinion, is not being present when you're talking to somebody. And what's the fix? In my opinion, it's mindfulness. We can practice this in many ways, and that's not what this speech is about right now. That's a whole different thing. My favorite is meditation, personally. I do it for 20 minutes every morning, except this morning. I often skip. But you could also do yoga, dance, whatever. There's plenty. And even just talking to someone and trying to stay present, it's all about practice, because you'll notice yourself not being present, and then you can fix it. That's how you practice. These are the 3 points I'm trying to make. What actively listening is and what it isn't. Why it's so critical. And what the root cause and how to get better. And this is important. I urge you all to evaluate yourselves. Are you good active listeners? If not, you should try, because it will help you in every area of your life. And if you're already doing it, could you do it better? This is critical, because if you practice and master this skill, the doors of life will open to you. All you have to do is listen to the knock. Thank you. Hello.
Hello. Thank you so much, Kyle. How are you feeling after your speech?
Relieved.